Thanks for staying with us, everyone. Time to turn our attention to fitness and baseball, and none better than the man I'm about to talk to. Darren Fidge joins me now. Darren, thanks for your time.
Oh, mate, pleasure to be here.
39 years of age, still playing with the ball. Mate, you still look like you're in great nick. You look like you're about 29. Why would you still be playing at 39?
Mate, I've been playing for a long time, and the last 5 or 10 years have been, when are you going to retire? When are you going to retire? I love it. I can't imagine not playing. I'm out there. I was saying to the boys before that it's the middle of winter, well, nearly middle of winter, and picked up a bucket of balls and went and threw them in my backyard. So winter for me is a long time in between drinks. So yeah, I love it. I don't plan on finishing up too soon. All right,
as a pitcher, mate, you've got to start somewhere. You're a Tanunda boy. How did baseball pitching start in Tanunda?
Oh, well, we moved to Adelaide when I was young.
So you're denying throwing stones at windows and stuff like that in Tanunda?
Yeah, no, I've hit a few ducks in my time. A few of the boys will laugh if they hear that. No, I played at Goodwood Baseball Club as a junior, and then made a state team, and ended up getting signed up with the Minnesota Twins. So it was pretty magical 5 or 6 years there, where then I've ended up in America.
Well, tell us a little bit about that time with the Minnesota Twins, and there was a period through there where you're injured as well. How was that 5-6 year journey in the States?
Yeah, there's American kids that's their dream. So to be an Aussie to get that, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't make it to the big leagues. I ended up blowing out my shoulder. I'd been playing, I think it was 4 or 5 years straight back here in the National League, and then over in the States as well. So I think I'd thrown 200 or 300 innings without a rest. My arm was feeling a bit clunky, and I said, look, I just got to have a season off. And unfortunately, in that season, when I came back a bit too hard, and basically tore the bicep off the bone. So yeah, that was the end of that career.
All right, at some stage through a sporting career, we recognise that it's going to finish, or it's coming to an end. We're not suggesting for a moment. God hopes you play to 45, mate, and so do I. But you start to recognise there's something other than baseball in my life. At what stage did that kick in for you?
Yeah, well, after my surgery, I played around for another couple of years, and I didn't throw as hard as I used to. I was throwing 93, 94 miles an hour, but then the best I could get was, say, 88, 89, and just didn't have the same stuff. So I played a little bit more in the States. I still ended up playing for Australia after that as well, that was pretty cool. And it came a time where I had to make a decision: do I go over to the States for 3 or 4 months a year, or got to grow up and get on with life.
Job.
So yeah, it was about 2000. I did a fitness course. I thought I'd spent a lot of time in the gym working out, so did a fitness course, and became a personal trainer.
Well, we're not trying to give too many plugs away here, but fitness course with who? Because there's a range of fitness courses you can do. So you did yours with who?
Yeah, well, it was the Institute for Fitness Professionals back then, or Perfect Fit Institute for Fitness Professionals. It was a long T-shirt, bloody hell. But yeah, they turned into the Australian Institute of Fitness. So I did that back in 2000, and been a personal trainer ever since. And a couple of years after that, started working for them, teaching. So. All
right, personal training now, as compared to 12 years ago, has there been a lot change in that period of time?
Yeah, back then, the main job in a gym was as a gym instructor. So you're writing programs for people, and then off you go into the gym. Well, it was around that time that they started to have a personal trainer as something that people could afford. Back then it was just the rich and famous had a personal trainer. Now it's 30-40% of people in a gym would have a personal trainer, and it's something that it helps people. People that have a gym program, they might come, they might not. But I know if my clients don't come, then they get a phone call. So I know there was one guy that didn't rock up at 6 o'clock, and I called him up. I said, mate, you're only 5 minutes away. Get on down here. We'll still train you for 20 minutes. And he was never late again. But it wasn't because I called him. It was because his wife was very angry that I woke her up.
Woke her up.
Yeah. So he was never late. He was never late ever again.
But the one thing you do learn in sport over a period of time is good technique, bad technique.
Yeah.
And that's got to apply surely in your industry now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess that's one of the things you say. I'm still look look fit at nearly 40, just under, well, I keep saying nearly 30, 29.
You know the boys are watching this saying you're closer to 40 than 39.
They wear me out on that. So for me it's been, I think, keeping fit, so strength training, flexibility, cardiovascular, so running and all that. But mechanics as well, so the technique. So while I hurt my shoulder, I've still been able to pitch at the top level for 22 years. So mechanics in sport relay really well into fitness, and that teaching people how to do exercises. Even doing a proper screening beforehand to make sure that the exercises that you choose are appropriate. You can't have someone doing depth jumps off a bench if it's their first time in the gym. You need to build up to it. So kind of periodising it for people.
All right, when you touch on that, there's that period, I've spoken with a lot of people that are a little bit overweight. We'll come back to the obesity issue. I mean, I want to touch on that with you as well, but I'm a little overweight. I'm actually anxious about joining a group because I stand out.
Yeah.
What's the best method for someone that wants to get into shape, needs to lose a little bit of weight, but is apprehensive about, I don't want to be in a group of 6 or 10 people?
Yep. So, well, I mean, there's plenty of gyms out there. I think research is important, is not to just jump straight into something. If you want to, do you want a personal trainer? Do you want to, do you want to do some group activities? Because sometimes it might be that you blend in. There's boot camps, there's just a gym program, there's aqua. There's so many different opportunities out there to burn energy. It's a matter of doing some good research to find out what is out there and what suits the individual.
All right, Australia's leading the world in obesity now.
We're number one. How about that?
Yeah, it's great to be number one at something. You don't want to be at that. I'm a parent. I've got 3 daughters. Lots of parents are not sure what advice to give their kids. What would you say to me? What should I say? I mean, I'm probably more conscious because playing, you have a background of you've got to eat right, you've got to do a lot of things right to play at an elite level, but a lot of parents don't have that knowledge. What would you say to the average parent if they approached you and said, look, I've got a few weight issues with my kid. What do you reckon I should do?
Yeah, interesting you say that most parents don't know. I reckon most people do. Because if you ask people, what's a good food or what's a bad food? Most people could tell you. Hungry Jacks or whatever, the burgers.
It's scary to think they know that and we're still obese then, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's a good conversation. Yeah. So people do know. My solution to it is it's like some scales. Energy in versus energy out. And if you're putting more energy in, so if you're eating more food, and if it's high energy foods, so like your takeaway foods, then that side of the scale goes up. And if the energy out isn't happening, then you put on weight. You just got to tip the scale. Foods the healthy foods like your fruits and veggies and lean meats, they're lower in energy. And if you're burning energy, and that's where we were speaking before about going for a training kids. That's one of the things I'm very passionate about is getting out there and I train kids at the baseball club. I've been just recently involved with the basketball. So
we'll talk about your success in a minute. Yeah, I know you're hedging. You want to hear about that. Yep.
It was amazing on the weekend.
Let's talk about that. Yeah. Women's under 12 basketball team. You won the state champs. Well done on that. What do you think you did differently to other coaches? I mean, we understand there's always talent, but even at that level, talent's a part of it. What do you reckon you're doing a little bit different, perhaps, than any of the other clubs?
Yeah. Well, Sturt is the club, and we were sitting at the bar afterwards, talking with some of the other coaches there, and they said, "Oh, we've got to get you out there with the under 18 boys." And so, I don't think anywhere in that club there's much fitness going on. I've been taking the girls for about 6 weeks now before their training sessions. I just take them out and run them around the oval. We do push-ups. I get the medicine balls out there. Got the tug-of-war rope. So it's not traditional on the court. It's not in a gym. But the girls have a great time competing against each other, and I match it to, I guess, periodise. We even tape it off before the state champs. So yeah, I just structure it based on fun, as well as getting their heart rates up, but also working on strength, because as you would know, it's tough in there in amongst the pack, and there's some big boys out there. I mean, how tall are you?
Just under 6'1".
I was going to say you were 6'1", 6'2". So, but you would have been playing with 6'7", 6'8". guy, so you would have had to been pretty strong in there.
Push them around.
Yeah.
I always thought they should have banned them quickly because we have to go. Adelaide Bite this year. How are the boys looking? How's it shaping up?
Oh, very exciting. We've got the coach Brooke Knight is back. He's going to be taking us, but this time he's going to be taking us from the off-season, pre-season, and in. So he's doing a lot of recruiting right now. So we've got some imports. A lot of the local boys will be back as well. So and hopefully I'll get another gig. So I'm actually going to go meet with the CEO in a minute. So.
Oh, time to cook contracts. We don't want to hold that up. Darren Fidge was our special guest. Of course, you get a chance. Season not too far away for the Adelaide Bite. Get out there and have a look. Fidge's got a new pitching style. See if you can pick it. We'll take a break. Stay with us. Plenty to come. Yes, thanks for staying with us. Time to shift our focus now to softball. Fair bit coming up in the South Australian Softball Tour. I don't mind telling you, I'm joined by a very special guest. 17-year-old Ebony McLean joins me. Ebony, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Now, tell us a little bit about yourself first. How did you get into softball?
Funny story, actually. I was in year 6 and my PE teacher told me if I made the Sapsars state team that I'd get a week off school. So I was like, yeah.
So you did that?
Definitely did that.
And stayed with any other sport other than softball after that?
I play netball as well. I'm from Gawler, so I play for Williston there. I've made some state rep teams for that as well and some country championships. So just for the country carnivals, I play a lot of that. So.
Did you have to make a choice between softball and netball? Has it got to that stage where you can only play one of them?
It hasn't, but I spend a lot of my time in softball. I've asked to move down for netball to play for Harlequins, but I turned that down because it's kind of just my second sport and I want to focus on softball, and I just play netball to keep fit, not so much to play at a state level. I don't really want to play 2 sports at a state level because it's a big commitment. All
right, let's talk about your commitment. You're in the under-19 state softball team. They're away in January to Canberra for the Nationals.
Yep.
How many times a week is the team getting together now?
As a team, we have to train twice together, but we have a lot of stuff we have to do in our own time. So saying we train twice a week isn't necessarily true because we have to do a lot of our own stuff in our own time.
All right, Christmas is coming up, so that means not too much Christmas celebration for you. You've got to stay in shape.
Yeah.
How are you going to cope with that?
I'll let you know.
All right, third base, that's where you play?
Yeah.
Always been on third base?
I started at third base, yep. I had a season at second base. One of my state coaches in my 3rd year of 17s nationals, he moved me to second base because we lacked pivots. So he gave me a go over there. So I played a year there, now I'm back to third. So, yeah.
All right, for all the people that are watching at the moment that don't understand what pivots are, how would you explain that?
A pivot is second base or shortstop, and then a corner is first base or third base.
Okay, so are you a slugger? Can you hit them out of the park?
Oh, I wouldn't say that, no.
Well, you know, when you come up to bat, most people think it's pretty easy. You come up to bat, and I'm assuming you've assessed the pitcher.
Yep.
Do you have to make that decision on the pitcher? And obviously they're going to pitch different balls at you.
Yep.
Do you walk up? What's the mentality walking up? I'm going to hit a home run, or depending on what the pitcher does, I'm going to send it low and get to first base. What do you think about?
It depends on the play. A lot of people that don't understand softball don't understand how tactical it is. It's a huge mental game as well. Depending on the situation, on the score, on the innings, it all depends on where you should hit the ball. For example, if there's runners on second and third, you aim to hit the ball behind the runner, because then if it's on that side of the diamond, they can go. There's heaps of little tactics in softball that people wouldn't actually realise if they didn't play. There's like when there's a runner on third and there's less than 2 out, you'll do a sacrifice fly, so you'll try and hit it to the outfield to get caught, so you'll sacrifice yourself to score a run. It's a really tactical game, so the mental approach is always different.
All right, that's worth remembering. So anytime I get out, I'm just going to say I was doing that, tactically sacrificing. Exactly. So when you get out, do you just say sacrifice?
Yeah, exactly right.
So we're going to Canberra.
Yep.
What's the expectation on the under-19 state team from South Australia?
We actually have a lot to live up to. Last year, I was in the 17s last year, but last year our 19s made it to the grand final. We played off against New South Wales and we won by 1 in the last... No, they lost by 1 in the last innings. New South Wales hit a run in. So we took it to the end of the innings. But yeah, they went down by 1, unfortunately. So the expectations are pretty high.
All right, do you expect New South Wales to be the team to beat in the under-19s?
Yeah, they're always up there. Yep, 17s, 19s, opens. They're very strong in softball, New South Wales.
All right, let me ask you a couple of quick questions because we've got a minute to go, so I'm going to fire some questions at you. You don't have to think, so you can't get anything wrong.
Right.
This is like having the week off school. Ready? Favourite softball player?
I'd have to say Marianne Crawford. She's she wears number 5, and I used to wear number 5 until I came to Walkerville. Yeah, she's always been my idol. She's a really good batter. Will bat 400, 500 in a tournament.
Wow.
So she's very, very good. She also plays third base. So.
She's your favourite, all right?
Yeah.
Favourite athlete in the world? Out of softball.
Softball.
Out of softball. Someone that's not in softball. Yep.
Maybe Andrew McLeod.
Andrew McLeod, Bungee.
Yeah. Okay. My dad coaches Norwood, so he's been on the coaching staff with Andrew McLeod. And he's just, obviously, he's very talented, but he's just such a good bloke as well.
He's a terrific fella, isn't he?
Always give you 5 minutes of his time.
Yep, he's a great man.
Yeah.
All right, if you could be any athlete other than a softballer or a netballer, what would you be?
Probably play golf. How much
Be a
money's in
golfer.
that?
What about sponsorship quickly for the state team? You girls have to fund it all yourself, any sponsorship?
That all our softball we have to pay for everything, all of our trips. So our trip to Canberra is $2,500. So we've got every year we have to fork out
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Good for mum and dad.
Yeah.
All right. Ebony McLean was my special guest. South Australian softballers under 19s playing in Canberra in January. Keep an eye on that. We'll be back with more in a moment.